So you want to get started making music, but you don't have a lot of money. Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to share with you the necessary gear you need to start recording music for under $250. Hey, I'm Reagan Ram with OrpheusAudioAcademy.com, helping you make better music and grow your fan base online. First of all, you may have been told that you need a lot of money to start recording music and that it's a really expensive hobby and don't get into it because all the gear is way too expensive. But that's not actually the case. You can actually start recording music pretty cheaply because a lot of the cheaper gear out there now is actually still pretty good and can get the job done, especially if you're just starting out. All right, now before I dive into the necessary gear that you need, just be sure to stick to the end of this video because I have a free gift that I want to give you once you reach the end to help you on your music journey. All right, so first off, what do you need to start making music? Well, you need software. It's called a digital audio workstation. This is the software that you're going to use to actually record your music into on your computer. And the good news is you can actually get a DAW for free. You don't need to spend money on a DAW right away when you're starting to make music. And so if you're on a Mac, you can get started just using GarageBand. If you're on a PC, maybe you can use like Ableton Lite, or I think Pro Tools has a free version. Cubase, I'm pretty sure, has a free version as well. Cubase, I think it's called like LE Elements or something like that. So a lot of these DAWs, they'll have free versions that you can download and get started with. And so you don't need to spend money on a DAW right away, especially since there's probably a lot of extra features in the full paid versions that maybe you're not ready for yet anyway. So get started with the basic DAWs that are out there. Pick one that you like and then get started there, learn that, and then later down the road you can upgrade. All right, now the second thing you need, and this is if you're going to be recording like instruments, like recording a microphone, either for vocals or guitar or something, then you're going to need an audio interface. And if you're just getting started, I recommend the Focusrite Scarlett Solo interface. This is kind of the standard beginner interface that's out there that just about everyone recommends, and for good reason. It's a pretty good interface and also comes with a lot of extra bonuses. For example, you can get, I believe, a free version of Ableton and a free version of Pro Tools when you sign up, as well as some extra cool features as well. And so, by the way, I'll have a link to all this gear in the description below, so you can be sure to get all this gear and get started quickly. So an audio interface, that's what you need, because that's what's going to have all the microphone preamps that you need to actually power your microphones and be able to actually record your studio microphones or whatever it is that you're using to record, whether that's like a guitar to be able to plug in and record. That's what you need your audio interface for. All right, the third thing you need, and this is if you're going to be recording instruments or your voice, if you're just making electronic music, you might not need this, but that is a large diaphragm condenser microphone. And so the reason why you want a condenser microphone is because it's just going to be a lot more sensitive. It's going to pick up a lot more detail. And so it's really great for recording in a studio environment. So the one I recommend is the MXL 770. This is actually very similar to this microphone that I'm recording on right now, only this microphone they actually don't make anymore. So the closest one I could find was the MXL 770. And I have no complaints with this mic. I've been using it since I got started like 10 years ago almost now. It's a really great beginner microphone. I'm still using it and I can still get really great vocals from it. So if you're gonna be recording vocals or guitar or any instruments in your studio, then you definitely are going to want a microphone, and that MXL 770 is a great microphone to start with. All right, now the fourth thing you're going to need is some way to hear what you are recording and what you are mixing in your computer, and I recommend getting some headphones for that, right? So you might hear a lot of people say you need monitors or speakers, and yes, that is ideal, but they're not really going to help you as much if you don't have a well acoustically treated room, because your speakers, your monitors are really only as good as the room that you put them in. Because if you put them in a bad room, then you're gonna get lots of reverb and a lot of standing waves and different things that come in that's going to cloud what you're hearing. And so it's not really gonna be as effective for you. So it's better when you're starting out and you don't have a great room to just use some headphones. Also, speakers are going to be a lot more expensive. So start off with just a basic pair of headphones. So a great pair you can start with is a Tascam TH02 headphones. These are great for recording and getting started with mixing as well, because they'll give you basically the best linear frequency response for a pair of headphones in that price range. So eventually, again, down the road, you're going to want to upgrade, but if you're just getting started, that's a great place to start, is just with those basic headphones right there. And so with that, you've got a basic studio already set up. You've got your computer to record in. You've got your audio interface that you can record into. That kind of is the interface between your instruments and your computer. And now you've got your mic to actually record things with, and you've got your headphones to listen back. But there's a couple other things you're going to want. Number one, a mic cable. So you need an XLR mic cable to actually record your microphone, be able to plug into your interface. So be sure to pick up one of those. Those are really cheap. You can get for like $8. And then another thing you want is a pop filter. And that's something, it's just a little mesh screen that you put over your mic. And that's really vital, because that's going to block all the plosives from getting into your mic. That's any like annoying P or B sounds. And you don't really hear it right now when I'm talking into this mic, because I'm kind of talking over the mic, which is actually a recording technique I recommend as well to help cut down on those. But also you're going to want just that pop filter to help block any extra wind noise or voice noise. I'm also not singing, which involves a lot more air, it's a lot louder than just speaking. So you're going to want that pop filter over your mic. That's really cheap too. You can pick up one of those for like $8 again. Really cheap, and I'll have a link to that below as well. So altogether, this comes out to under $250. Now, you might want to pick up a MIDI keyboard too if you're planning on doing a lot of using a lot of software like synthesizer sounds in your recordings. So you probably gonna want to pick up a keyboard in that case. And so just pick up a standard MIDI keyboard controllers. A great one is the AKM 320. And so that's only like $37. So if you do end up adding a MIDI keyboard as well, then the whole basic studio that I outlined for you here still comes out to under $300, which is really great for getting started. So for sure, you definitely need those other things I mentioned. Unless you're just going to be making electronic music, then you probably don't need an interface or a mic, and I would get the MIDI keyboard instead. But if you're going to be recording vocals or an instrument or something, then stick with those basic things that I outlined earlier. So that is really all you need to get started making and recording music. You don't really need a lot of fancy or expensive gear, because a lot of the quality really comes down to just using the gear you have correctly and then mixing. And that's a big part of where you get that great, professional quality sound from. And so be sure to grab my free mixing checklist below. This will also walk you through how you can rapidly finish more songs so that you can grow your fan base faster by releasing more music. But I also want to let you know that I also have a complete gear guide I want to give you for free that you can also get by clicking in the description below, or by going to orpheusaudioacademy.com/gear. And this will outline not only all the gear I mentioned in this video for getting started, but also a more intermediate gear or advanced gear that you might want to pick up as you progress. So you can kind of see, depending on your budget, what gear you might want to get. Also let you know what gear to invest in first. If you're going to upgrade your studio, what do you upgrade first? Is it your mic? Is it your interface? What is it? That gear guide will kind of walk you through that thought process for what you should upgrade first for your studio. All right, if you found this video helpful, feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you want to make sure not to miss out on any new content I release on this channel. Otherwise, let me know in the comments below, what other questions do you have when it comes to getting started with making and recording music? All right, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye.